Have you ever wanted to jump into the amp modeling world? Or maybe you want a smaller footprint? Uh, I think this might be the answer. This is the Harley Benton DNAFX, and it is amazing. So, first and foremost, it's extremely affordable. With shipping and taxes here to California, it was $180. The Helix floor was like 1700. Campers are like also 1700. The XFX 3 is like 2 grand. Yeah, so instead of having to sell your kidneys, you could probably save up for a couple months and get one of these. So we have our 2-foot switches, which control your tuner and looper, as well as scrolling through your presets. Your two knobs here are also buttons for controlling mode and valve. Have a master volume right here. Once the unit is powered on and you're moving through everything, these lights will light up so you can see whatever's on and whatever is being edited. Play sends you back to the presets. Save, obviously, for the presets. I'm not sure what EXP does. I haven't figured it out. And rhythm is pretty much a drum machine where you can go ahead and practice to a metronome. Tap for your tempo. System lets you adjust your brightness and your input levels and things like that. So this wah pedal, it feels solid, but it's small, and I wouldn't feel too comfortable stomping on this during a gig. But it feels good. So here we have your inputs and your outputs. There's no effects loop, so there's no send and return. It's just plug straight in, no nonsense, which can be exactly what you want, or you could see that as a downside. Now, it takes 9 volt to power on, and there's no power button, but we will get to that soon. Alright, so to power this unit on, you hook on its power supply. However, if you are not from the EU, like me, you're going to need an adapter. And I bought it from Amazon for fairly cheap. It comes with 2, and you need it to run this unit. Or if you have another 9-volt power supply, that may work. I, however, did not, because I sold all my pedals. Okay, so now that it's plugged in, let's get it to focus. Alright, so you can see those lights are harsh, so let's go ahead and cover that. Okay, so this unit has 200 presets. You can scroll through with these buttons or with this knob right here. Now, I've already made 2 presets for metal and metal with delay using different amps and cabs. Alright, before we go on to making the presets, they have 200 for you to use, of course, just like we talked about. But you also have the option of loading in 26 of your own IRs. So if you're familiar with amp modeling and you know which IRs work best for you, you can choose 26 of your favorite and just throw them in here. Now, there are 55 amp models, and that's both high gain and normal amp models. By normal, I mean not high gain. I don't know. And there's about 151 total effects. So that goes compression, overdrive, reverbs, delay, wahs, and yeah, that's all I can think about. That's all I could ever use anyways. They do also have a looper, which is by holding down this button, but I'm not a fan of loopers. So, moving on, here's how we make a patch. Let's say you go to, we'll just use this one. Go to a preset you want to use up, scroll to the right, scroll to the right using the first knob, And first in the chain is compressors. If you want to change it, you can click with the second knob and then scroll around and see what you can get. And then of course click out to select, and then again with the right knob move around, click and change your values. Pretty easy. So let's move on to the amp. No, this is for overdrives. Yeah, so overdrives, you can click around. Looks like they have about 20, so pretty cool right there. Here are the amp modelers. They have 55 and they are all sorts. So it looks like we have a 5150 amp model, a couple different ones I actually haven't been able to figure out, but they don't sound too bad. US Deluxe, J100s, the Plexis. Yeah, so you should be pretty familiar. They even have a Mark III and 5s. Yeah, these are 5s. Rectifier. Yeah, pretty cool. Alright, moving on. Here are your cabs. So they do have a few, not as many as I would like, but you start off with, you know, a couple 1x12s, 2x12s. They do have 4x12s. They don't sound too bad, but I mean, of course, the Helix does sound quite a bit better. And here we have your empty for your IRs. So one of the weird things is that you can change the tubes on the cabs, which doesn't make sense to me, but that's okay. We can always play around with it. I find that the SM57 just sounds the best, but here you have quite a few mics. And as far as I have been able to notice, they are all the same no matter what cab it is. Now moving on. Noise gate, always have one. Here you have an EQ. I had mine set to cut some of the lows, boost a little bit of the mids, and maybe not so much of the mids and the highs. And it looks like we have some type of modulation, but I don't have that on. Delays and reverb. Let's cover that up. And that's it. So in order to save it, you would actually... I'm gonna go ahead and unplug this. So in order to save it, you would just click save and save again to be sure. So these buttons are play, save, exp, not quite sure what that does, rhythm, tap, obviously this is for tempo, and system, which will change screen brightness and input level, just things like that. So that was the demo, and all the guitar tones were from here with stock cabs. The lead tones were also stock. The bass I used was powered through Helix Native, just the basic bass preset. I used the Alesis Strike Pro drum kit, and that's it. Just a tiny bit of EQ, and I'll definitely make another video just playing through all the amps and whatnot. It's really cool to just mess around with that. So pros, it's extremely affordable. It sounds great. I do think so. You know, I know I said the cabs don't really match up to the Helix, but in a mix, I don't know if I could tell that much, especially after EQing. It's just it's a solid unit, so I might put them head to head. Now, continuing on, it's a small footprint. I think that's a very big plus because you can throw it in your backpack and use it with your laptop. Now, you can load in your own IRs, which is also a positive, and it's fairly sturdy. I mean, you know, just pretty sturdy. Moving it around, has the rubber feet here. It's awesome. I like it. Now, some of the cons. Um, it may be too small for some people. If you're gigging, this looks like just one pedal, which I wouldn't have a problem with that whatsoever, but maybe some people would. And also, you can't just attach it, you'd have to rig something. Now, you cannot adjust the LEDs up here, and they are horrifyingly bright. And you can adjust the screen LED, but not these. So I don't know. It's really bright, and also the white print on the silver body is really hard to read when you're standing up. And I've actually had to retake all of the videos I made when I saw that the phone wasn't picking them up because of the shadows. They were so hard to read. But other than that, the only note is there's no power button. I don't know if that's a pro or a con, just the note. And yeah, that's it. So thanks for watching, and I'll continue having fun with this in the meantime.